I'm so sorry.
Hi, technology.
At least you're in a mountainous area. You had a view.
Yes, very zen here on top of my local mountain.
Love. Hey,
You
Sara.
have beautiful colors and lovely art view.
Yeah, the at the beginning of COVID, I didn't know what else to do, so I sat in my little. Also, there were wars and stuff, so I just sat and painted. So I made
I
lots of.
did
Yeah.
I did painting, mosaic, collaging, so many hours of that. And then I completely gave up on that thread of art.
Ah, and
I just kept trying different things. And then when things opened up a little more, I started taking classes. I took a real mosaic class, which I thought would be my heart's desire, but I was like, I'm not that good at it. I took a drawing class the same time that Ariel was, and it was so fun and satisfying, but I didn't sign up again.
ah,
And I took some creative writing classes, and that has captured my attention. It's been great.
oh, what are you
Yeah.
writing? Are you playing with stories or poetry or
I'm
books?
playing with memory, and I'm pulling out a memory thread and writing it down and embellishing it where I feel like embellishing it, or um, yeah. So
Oh, it's so
very
exciting.
apropos for what we'll be talking about probably.
Everything's apropos. Um, yeah. I just heard a bing, but who cares about the bings?
Oh
Shall we
yeah, that's
begin?
great. I'll put on my do not disturb. Okay, no bings
So,
over here.
okay, I'm just putting my questions into a location that I can see them. Okay, so you are a delicious duckler. Could you please introduce yourself and where you're sitting at the moment?
Sure. I am Sara Duckler. I'm the youngest of the four Duckler children. I am in my home in Walnut Creek right now, and this gorgeous photo I took of the local mountains and hills up by Mount Diablo. We were hiking around looking for places to rock climb, and the view was stupendous. So now it's one of my favorite backdrop scenes for zooming.
So, this isn't something you pulled out from National Geographic. This is your location.
Yeah, this is like our backyard. We can hike here in a matter of minutes, get out there. I think our house would be like just up that valley about another 4 miles.
Wow, that's
But
amazing.
we don't live in, it doesn't, I mean, we're in a very urban, suburban environment. It doesn't feel like this where our house is.
Uh-huh. Okay, you've got to like move a little bit to get to that cliff.
Yeah. And most people don't get to exactly here. Like we sort of hiked off trail for a while.
Okay, great. So, can you tell me what is your earliest childhood memory?
Yes, I can get close. So, with my first 4 years, we were living in Tucson, Arizona. And in fact, my family moved there while mom was pregnant with me. So I was born there. And I have a lot of memories that are all a little bit jumbled together. Um, One of the funny things about my memories of Tucson is that I mean, I haven't been inside that house since I was 4 because we packed up and moved to California, but
Mhm.
I could draw a layout of the house. Like I really know where the kitchen was and how it opened onto the living room and how that opened through sliding glass doors into the backyard, which wrapped around, and where the den was. And Ariel's room was like tucked behind the den. Anna and I shared a room in the back corner where mom and dad's room was, and Max's room was near ours. But I maybe once in my life poked my head into Max's room because it was like verboten, as was Ariel's.
Because you were so small, you would cause great damage, no
I
doubt.
was I was the baby brat, I guess, to them. Um, but I have a lot of memories of playing in the front yard and the backyard with Anna and sort of like um, toddling around in a raggedy nightgown with a bottle of Kool-Aid.
Do
And
you
I
remember the
remember,
color? Do you remember the color of the Kool-Aid?
Red, always red, of course, red. Um, I remember one time it snowed and it was a big deal. And we went out and built a snowman in the front yard by just like smushing piles of it together. And I think that Max was the ringleader of that, but it was so absolutely fabulous.
Ooh,
And I also remember that we had a TV that was a piece of furniture, half the size of a refrigerator up on wooden legs. And that was where I would hang out a lot of the time
mm,
watching. I would watch Lassie, and they were reruns, even though it was probably 1969 or so.
yeah.
Reruns of Lassie every morning at 8:30 in my nightgown while the little van that my mom had hired to take me to nursery school at the local synagogue about 3 or 4 blocks away would show up, and I would still be watching TV in my nightgown, and mom would be like, "Get dressed, get up." It's like she had nothing to do with me in the morning. So she was in the kitchen puttering around. I was watching Lassie, and the little kids in the van driver would have to wait while I went and pulled on some pants and a t-shirt and ran out to catch my school bus. So it was like a little bit of the free range childhood, even back then when I was a toddler.
Yeah, but you remember so many details. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Mhm. So
So many stories.
the
Yeah.
next question is, what did you love to do as a kid?
Um, This is funny because Anna told me about talking with you, and I was like, don't tell me, you'll spoil it for me. But she told me one of her answers, and I was like, oh my God, that's so true
Mhm.
that we used to together make up skits and plays. And often it was like riffing on commercials. We would just get dressed up in wigs and put together costumes and like redo the commercials for Maxwell House for our attentive parents after dinner or on a Saturday afternoon. They would have to sit on the couch and watch our plays. So that was pretty fun. I think I always loved that silly, dress up, corny, changing things around a little bit to make it fun, gaming with my sister.
Okay, thanks. All right. Was there a moment or moments when you knew what you'd want to do when you're older or what you wanted to be?
No, and I have still not reached that moment yet. But there were a couple moments in high school. I remember at about age 14, I started panicking, like, I really better figure this out. And around that time, which my daughter is now, and I'm like, no, no, you just do a lot of things and enjoy them,
Yeah.
just like me. But I remember at that time realizing that my image of myself as like a courtroom attorney with a briefcase and a three-piece suit, which I must have picked up from, television.
Mhm.
I was a man in that because men had the cool, fun jobs. And my vision of myself with a cool, fun job was basically as a male in a suit with a
Interesting.
leather briefcase. And I was like, oh, that's not for me. But then I did end up becoming a civil engineer, which is also a very male dominated career. And, I used to talk to your dad, Uncle Bill, we used to bond about being civil engineers
Mhm.
together. So the only
What?
reason I picked that one was because I thought that I would be outside wearing a hard hat and playing with bulldozers,
So do
which
you
I was
know
for a couple years.
when did you choose that route? Do you remember how old you were?
Yeah, probably junior or senior year of high school.
So that's pretty early.
Yeah, and then I stayed on it, although I didn't really like it because I kept feeling like I'd already invested so much time and energy in this. I already have my degree.
Um,
I'll just stay with it. And I stayed with it for 30 years. And then I finally retired about 4 years ago
yeah,
um,
yeah.
as a civil engineer.
Amazing that you're still so young after to retire. Like, that really got me.
Yeah, so
When you announce you're retiring and you're like you're a kid.
I know, I know, I know. Important point for the cousin project. I am the youngest cousin of the entire Duckler Weinstein family clan. and stayed the youngest person for a long, long, long time until one of us cousins had the first child.
Unit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Next generation came along.
It's
And again, that's the same thing for my 14-year-old. She's the youngest by far of all the kids in her cousin tree. And nobody's had a baby yet, so she's really impatiently waiting until she's not the youngest. Oh no, that's not true. I'm sorry. Gali has two babies.
that's right.
And
That's right.
and Rachel finally met them. Rachel was in Israel for a week and a half
Yeah. Yeah.
this year. And she finally met her
This
younger
year.
cousins. She was so happy.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because when I saw you in the airport, it must have been 5 years ago or
Yeah, it was probably my trip for 2018, beginning of 2018, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that's great that you got to come to Israel.
Yeah, she did a class trip. She was at a Jewish day school.
Oh yeah?
Mhm.
Really? Cool. Okay. Another question. This is about heroes. When you were younger, did you have a hero?
Yeah, I'd say, around the time that we were living in Tucson or moved to California early, actually, right up through my at least early teens, my heroes were my brother Max and my sister Ariel.
Mm,
And I have to say that it was basically because they were teenagers living in the house, and teenagers are super cool and they'd have their friends over and they would get to do really cool things. They never, ever included me in any of the things they did. I didn't actually really know them or much about them, but I definitely looked up to them and thought that they were very cool and wanted to hang out with them. I got scatted away a lot.
but they
Scat.
kept their mystery because of that.
So
Yeah.
Ariel's 10 years older than me and Max is 8 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, when I was just coming of age, they were like right, not coming of age, but coming of sentence.
Yeah.
They were right in the middle of their teenage years.
Mm, right. And can I ask you about today? Do you have any heroes today? Someone you admire, someone you look up to?
Um, I have a few people in my not my daily life, but in my life of peers, some women that are exceptionally lighthearted about life and also completely dedicated to social justice, political action. Like I have one friend in particular who started the whole Contra Costa Women's March movement. So one of the many branches of the Women's March. And she's also just so fun and kind and giving and generous and a joy to be with. So I have about two or three friends like that that are heroic for me. And then I also can't not think about Michelle and Barack Obama because I just love them. I love the integrity that I feel like they brought with them to the White House, and that they tried against all odds to make the country a better place.
Yeah.
And we have since receded.
Yes. Have you read their autobiographies?
I did read Michelle Obama's. I did
Um,
not read Barack's.
he's got two,
Yeah.
Dreams from His Father and
The
Promised Land.
Audacity of Hope.
They're both amazing anyway. He explains what he had to go through to get anything passed at all, any law, with everything that's against him. But yeah, and Michelle, wow. Okay. Uh, this is about happiness. What makes you happy? Or what makes you feel like time ceases to exist?
Yeah. Um, I am at my happiest when I'm with a few friends and we're laughing and riffing on each other on just like the stupidest things, like whatever you pick up off the table in front of you and start making fun of it. Not each other, because like I know that meanness can be really funny too, but just piling things on. And I've noticed like if I'm with a friend and I make some comment and she'll giggle, and then I'm just gonna for sure like up the ante and ratchet it up a little bit and watch her turn that giggle to a laugh. And like just my favorite thing is knowing that I can whatever I say next is going to be really funny in the context of that conversation.
Yeah. And they support it. They help you expand the energy because it'll be really funny. I'm sure if I wrote it down, it'd be hysterical.
Maybe. Maybe it's
Why
just
not?
dumb. I don't know, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun. So, I mean, just laughing with friends is my favorite thing in the world.
I understand. Okay. If you could invite a small group to have dinner with you,
Hmm.
okay, from anybody at all, living, dead, whatever, who would come and what would you serve?
Okay, there's a twist to what you just said. If you could invite a group, who would come? And for sure, I'm like, well, if I invited Barack, he wouldn't come. So I gotta change the.
No, no. Okay, sorry. They will come. Who
Um,
would be at the table? That's the better question.
yeah, but this is like a classic question, and I've thought about it because, there's a certain your mind goes to the celebrity, and and I don't think it would be all that fun to sit and have a dinner party with Brad Pitt and George Clooney or Barack Obama because I'd be so nervous and what would we talk about? And so I would go back to um, my friends' groups and it would be, I would like it just wouldn't be famous people that anybody else has heard about. It would be either like there's a particular group from high school that we make each other laugh, and it would have to be like they have to click together. So those are the kids that I did theater with, and we
Mm,
still have stayed connected with for 40 years. Or maybe these women's march women who are also really fun and can get really silly. And I've had wonderful, wonderful evenings sitting with them too. So sometimes when we're in the greatest mood, my husband and my two daughters, like laughing with them, it's harder because our life is so full of logistics.
mm.
So it's hard to just kick back and relax. But when we get those moments, they're better than anything. My heart explodes with joy when I get to
Yeah.
those moments with Richard, Isabella, and Rachel.
So you might need a few dinners. That's okay.
I'm gonna have to have a few dinners, very small ones though, so I won't break the budget, I promise.
Money is not a question. Oh, what would you serve? You've got, do you have three different types of meals here?
Um, I don't know. It's funny. I love food, but there's no particular type of food I love. Like my mind goes to a couple of years ago before my whole family turned vegetarian. Our classic meal was um, tri-tip on the barbecue that Richard does that comes out perfectly tender on the inside with a little crust on the outside, and some barbecued vegetables like asparagus or eggplant.
Mm.
Um, I don't know, like really simple, but just really, really well prepared food. It could be a Mediterranean feast. Oh my God. Could be the Israeli hotel breakfast that has like 1,000 of everything and you're just overwhelmed trying to get a little bit of all of it.
So maybe you'd have a buffet.
Yeah, I might do that.
Um, Zoom is telling me there's 5 minutes. I never trust Zoom. Zoom's always lying to me. First it lied
Oh,
about the link, and now it's lying about the timing. But if
yeah. Oh no, I hope that our next
we've got
link.
another link,
Yeah,
but I'll
but
open it and then send you that link because I don't trust
okay.
them.
Okay, open it and then do like copy this invite and email it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's ask another question meanwhile. Um, what do you feel makes you unique?
What about me?
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I'm definitely a dilettante. I like to do a whole bunch of different things, and I usually am pretty good at the things that I do. So, like, I was just telling my friend about my new post-retirement life, and I'm starting to settle in. I've tried so many different things, but now I row crew 3 times a week with a new group of women. They're all like most of us are middle-aged women. And this is brand new. I've never done anything like this before, but I'm at it 3 days a week and I love it and
Mm,
I'm pretty darn good at it. I know that because he puts me in the position up front to be stroke, so you're setting the pace for everybody. So he trusts me.
cool.
Um, I'm also doing creative writing, writing stories that is brand new to me, but I like it. And it's very different. And I'm also like still getting called back by my former employer to
Mm.
consult because they didn't quite want to let go of me. They just really valued my contributions and my intellect. Um, I'm also teaching improv workshops, which gets into the fun and giggly and storytelling. And so those are all like really vastly different things in different parts of my brain. And that's just what I'm doing this month. So I'll be adding and subtracting things to that, cooking like crazy, and I'm volunteering with my younger daughter together and making a difference. So I just like always want to be doing something different, um, that has to be fun and enriching.
Mm. Wonderful. Take a breath, you busy lady.
I have to be
Um,
busy.
okay, if you could make a change in your life, what might it be?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that would be simple. I would like to move to the other side of those hills back there, or somewhere where I had a view of the water and the
Mm.
sunset. That's the only thing I really miss right now out of my life, is seeing the sun set out over the water every night, which I grew up with growing up in Berkeley, which my sister Anna has from Berkeley, my brother Max has from Santa Cruz, and my sister Ariel has from Tel Aviv. All three of them ended up with a water view, west facing home,
Mhm.
and not me. And I want that. So I am out on the water 3 days a week on
Uh-huh.
the boats, and I just drink it up. My
How
eyes are
how far is your place from the water?
so I drive 30 minutes to
Mm.
get to the crew
30. Yeah,
workout spot.
right.
So
So
yeah,
it's not
that's the
a,
thing.
but it's
I
not a
can
huge
drive
move. Like you could just
I could
lift up.
drive 20 minutes and see the water, and we often go look, go out to the water to look at sunset.
Yeah,
But it's different
yeah,
looking out your living room window.
yeah,
The problem is the move is, it's financially kind of very, very difficult to buy
yeah,
real estate in
I'm sure.
California or even rent. And then I would still want to be close enough for my kids and friends to, I kind of like the social life we have right now. It's getting good, finally.
So you won't be moving tomorrow.
I'm figuring something out. I'm challenging myself to drive out there more often. So that
Mm.
makes, you know,
Okay.
when we're there, I'm like, this was only 25 minutes. That's worth it. We can do this.
Um, and now, what do you wish for yourself?
Is this when we're gonna get cut off?
It says 1 minute, but usually there's a little clock on top. Do you see a clock?
I don't, and I usually would.
It,
Yeah.
there's such a bunch of these Zoom people. If we're going to get cut off, we'll just get cut off. We'll continue on. But do tell me, just
All right.
what do you wish for
What do I
yourself?
wish for myself?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I say that just told you how I do so many different things, and I also told you that I never really did figure out the thing that I'm meant to do, like
Mm.
career wise.
Yeah.
And so if those things could come together, and I don't feel like I need to just do one thing, but if I could get that feeling of, oh, this is me, this is my passion, this is what I was
Mm.
meant for, that
Mm.
would be a huge relief. And I don't know if
Wow.
that's living on the water or writing my fictional biography, but I'm still looking.
It's a wonderful wish. And it's fun to look for it.
I've been having fun looking for sure.
Okay. So I don't know if we dare carry on, but why not? You live only once. The next one is a bunch of quickies that'll ask for your favorite things. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. First of all, writer. Do you have a favorite writer?
Right now, it's gonna change day to day, but I'm kind of thinking a lot about David Sedaris.
Mm.
He's hilarious and witty, and he writes so concisely. A little 4-page thing will have me laughing out loud and totally satisfied at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Favorite artist?
Kandinsky and Mondrian, they both
Hmm.
bring up like excitement in me when I see their their specific era of pieces, abstract, modern, colorful.
Cool. A favorite book?
To Kill a Mockingbird. I feel like every word is placed symphonically to support everything that's coming ahead and everything that's already been laid down in the past of that particular book. It's it's perfect as
Wow.
is.
What a beautiful description. Symphonically. Gorgeous. Okay. Movie.
No, pass.
Nah. Meal. But you already told me favorite meal?
Whatever's in front of me that's delicious. Something my youngest daughter cooks. She's amazing.
Mm, okay. Favorite music?
Nope. I do like to, if 80s pop music comes on, I will dance. 70s funk, I will dance.
Okay.
Other things I love as well.
Okay. And this next thing you already answered, but I'll ask you anyway. Favorite place to be?
I know I talked a lot about being on the water.
Mm,
I'll just say nature in general.
mm, nature.